Welcome to the Innovators series on KND TV. Today we're fortunate enough to be joined by Adam Penberthy from Think Fresh. He is an expert in youth marketing and advertising.
Thanks, mate.
Adam? Thanks for joining us.
No, that's good. No worries. Thank you. Thanks for having us. Everything.
Tell us what's on your tray,
Sure.
what's in your inbox.
Lots of spam at the moment. But no, basically, Fresh is a youth ad agency. So we're 5 years deep into advertising, marketing, and so forth. All we work on is specifically on youth-focused campaigns. Right. So when I say youth-focused campaigns, I guess I'm talking about campaigns that connect and engage with the sub-30, the 30 years and younger demographic as such. So I guess the majority of the work that we're engaged in is digital projects. We do a lot of work with using social media and so forth to optimise campaigns and create buzz, if you like, amongst that kind of youth demographic,
Yeah, okay. And how did you get into this in the first place? How did you...
Fell over one day and fell into it.
You were fairly young, weren't you?
Yeah. I started, so I'm 27 now, and it's 5 years old, so what's that, 22? Yeah, when I started Fresh. So it's come, I think, a reasonably long way. And I mean, typical startup type operation. Started just me in my bedroom with a table next to my bed and a mobile phone and a laptop and a pack of business cards, and that's where it kind of started from.
A bit different to what most young lads do in their bedroom. A bit more productive.
Yeah, a little bit more productive. You put me off guard now.
You talk about engagement and entertainment a lot. What's the difference, and can you have one without the other?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, from an entertainment perspective, if you're talking about like a social marketing message, so a message that's telling us not to drink and drive or speed or take drugs or whatever, those social-based messages, it's very hard to entertain and try and be comical, if you like, being in that kind of a space. So we have to come up with other ways to engage. So yes and no. I mean, it's ideal in many instances to try and merge the lines between entertainment and engagement. And certainly I think social media in many instances has really provided us a platform, if you like, to be able to create entertaining and engaging content, which is obviously relevant to this demographic.
And obviously there's a lot of noise in the marketing space and advertising space, and young people are pretty good at filtering that out. We all are, but what is it that catches their eye? Is it
creative content, stuff which is a little bit left of centre, stuff that sits outside the box is certainly where it's kind of edging towards. Physical experiences, or what we call experiential marketing, so campaigns that give people a physical experience with a brand or an idea or a lifestyle or a position or whatever it is. You see it all the time, and I think Red Bull's a really classic brand for doing really good experiential marketing, whether it be sponsoring a major music festival, whether it's having the little minis running around with the girls giving out Red Bulls and so forth. That's a really good form of good example of experiential marketing. And I think beyond that, that's one of the key, I guess, opportunities for brands wanting to connect with young people is kind of looking, again, a little bit left of centre and moving away from the traditional TV, print, press, radio, and looking at these more progressive forms of communication, whether it be experiential, whether it be digital, things that physically give people a physical positive experience with that brand or that brand message is what it's kind of moving towards.
You seem to be really more infiltrating society rather than just blasting ads, blasting messages at people, getting into the society, getting into their peers and influencing people through their peers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, MySpace is a classic example, and I'm sure you'll remember MySpace. And
I'm not that old.
Well, I mean, MySpace kind of, at first was classic for allowing brands to come in and put up posters, if you like, all over people's backgrounds and change their themes, so it was all of a sudden Coca-Colaised. And the brands unfortunately copped a lot of flack for doing that. And as such, it pushed people away from a controlled environment, which is MySpace, to media which is like Facebook and so forth. And I think, with youth marketing at its core, a brand needs to tread really carefully and can't go into a kid's bedroom and plaster the brand all up over the wall like it would 20, 30 years ago. Now we have to become more tactical. We need to reach people via their peers and so forth. We need to create really positive experiences for young guys and girls, whether it be a music festival, whether it be an event, or whether it be just physically giving them product tasting and so forth in the streets. We need to create creative content to break through the clutter. You mentioned clutter before. The average 20-year-old walking around the streets of Brisbane today is exposed to about 130,000 messages on an annual basis. Now that's 130,000 messages which has been slammed down the throats of them and their peers. Not messages like the Dick Smith ads or like a real estate ad or whatever it might be. 130,000 messages being targeted specifically at this demographic and people of the same age. So we need to think differently to break through that clutter.
Yeah. I heard a stat the other day that we create more content in 2 days as a planet than we did from the dark ages until about now.
Absolutely, yeah. There's thousands of statistics like that. The one I saw the other day was if we were to print Wikipedia, it would take 625 years or something ridiculous to read, and it would be, I can't remember what it was. It was like 60 centimetres thick or something. It was ridiculous, absolutely phenomenal.
They probably couldn't even print it fast enough.
No, they couldn't, not at all.
It's continually growing.
No, exactly.
Right. So to get this cut through, you've done some pretty radical advertising and marketing campaigns in the past. What can you tell us about one of those that's either gone really right or very wrong?
When I kind of look back to what we've done over the years, we've done things like bought old combi vans and turned them into recording studios and put them in major events around Queensland and so forth. And we've set up tents in outside schools and told kids that if they don't book their accommodation for schoolies sooner rather than later, they could end up sleeping in a tent at schoolies. So we've done a whole heap of stuff. We've been chased by the police many times doing different stunts for clients, and we've been applauded by our peers in the industry for the stuff we've done as well.
Well, with KND, everything we do is very measurable because it's all on the web. It's all statistics. Sure. How do you measure a campaign like that? Like a recording van.
Yeah, so I mean, exactly, and it's something which is really, really difficult. And it's a shift from the marketer's mindset as well. All of a sudden, we can't give a physical dollar return on what this is going to produce. We quite often will preface the projects we do if it's an experiential campaign to say, listen, this could work really well, or this could be a complete disaster. We can't kind of determine which way it's going to go until we start getting our hands dirty. I guess for some brands, they're more likely to take those risks and do it because they see the value for the brand. Yeah. To measure a campaign like pimping a combi and throwing a recording studio inside it, I mean, for that particular campaign, it was the amount of kids that physically came through and experienced it is what we measured it by, the success by. But I think beyond all of that, to see the after reactions and having someone there saying, "Oh, what was that like?" and seeing these smiling faces from kids saying, it was really, really cool, and being able to show their friends that they're up on this big TV and outside this recording studio, combi. I think was quite the rewarding experience, and for the campaign, for that example as such, that was, I think, really the true measure of the campaign success or not. Yeah.
I guess a lot of your campaigns, you can push people back through a website to gauge response or gauge that sort of thing. Definitely. How do you use the internet these days? I mean, it's probably even changed since the start of the year.
Yeah, it changes continually. Yeah. I mean, it's been really interesting. Like, if you look at social networks, I think this is phenomenal. More users connect to Facebook via their mobile rather than via the internet and so forth. I think we're seeing a shift in the way in which media has been accepted, and I think that's the beauty of what you fellas are doing, in the sense that you're creating a business which is across not just the standard desktop and laptop computers that you use at work and in your home and so forth. You're creating stuff across portable devices and so forth, and I think that's really where the market's really starting to head and starting to penetrate more than anything. Yeah.
There's a lot of stats on the number of people that sit and watch TV while they're on Facebook on their phone, and most people. It's a huge majority actually, and I guess that's why you're seeing a lot of that sort of Twitter feeds across the screen and all that sort of thing, just engaging people on a number of levels.
And for traditional media, they need to. They need to be prevalent across not just the square TV that sits in the lounge room. They need to be on the person's mobile phone, on the internet. They need to be in the magazine. They need to own that entire suite, make that a full 360 package. We're starting to see that more and more. The block, the TV show that I think was on Channel 9 just recently. Like, you know, a classic example of kind of this defragmentation of media at large. So it wasn't just a TV show, it became information on the web, a magazine and all this extra stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And social media is obviously a massive part of that. If you had some tips for small business as to how they can use social media, like I've seen orthodontists use it successfully. I've seen, you know, industries you wouldn't even dream of, and especially politicians and that sort of thing, they're starting to engage the social side of it. If you had a few tips for small business, what are some of the simplest things you can do with social media?
Yeah, sure. I think the first thing you need to do is you need to address why you're going to do it, which is a critical component. You know, if you haven't got a strong reason why you're going to do it and why you're entering into that space, you know, probably don't. And the other kind of component of that is if you're not doing it with the full gusto that it kind of requires, again, don't consider it if you haven't got the time and resources to be able to commit to it. Yeah, I heard a guy speak just recently, and social media is like spinning plates. You know, you just need to give it gentle taps continually to make sure that the plates continue to keep spinning. So you remember Red Faces back in the day, hey, it's Saturday, and the guys there spinning the plates around in circles, and you give this one a little spin, that one a little spin. I think that's a really good analogy for how social media best works. It's about giving it small bursts of little spins. From a small business perspective, it really depends on the individual business, but understanding and really clarifying the reason why they're wanting to do it is one of the key components, and then looking at the channels that kind of reflect what they're wanting to try and achieve. If they're wanting to position their business and really link in with their demographic and their market, you know, if their brand is kind of appealed to that youthful market or whatever, yeah, sure, use the Facebook fan pages and so forth, create custom applications that sit within the Facebook walls that engage the demographic and the customers that they're targeting and give them added value experiences, if you like, with their brand or their brand message. You know, if they're wanting to promote the service or if it's more how-to, use YouTube videos. Absolutely fantastic. And we've seen the progression of YouTube videos being created from everything from how to sew a button on to how to make a lemon cheese meringue, whatever cake. Do you see where I'm going? So I think you know, it's using the media to fit your business and brand, and really understanding how your brand could be bolstered and boosted by using social media is what the key really is.
Yeah, okay. And you're known for doing a lot of speaking engagements. Is this the sort of thing you talk about at your speaking gigs?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess, yeah, it is, largely. Most of the speaking engagements that I'm called to do more often now than in the previous years is around digital trends and social media and the use of digital to engage young people is kind of where it's largely centred towards. The other kind of side of it is just youth engagement at large. You know, what do we do to connect and engage with these guys? Because it's on a lot of people's minds. You know, how do they reach and engage this young demographic?
All right. Well, thanks, Adam, and thanks very much. You've got a really interesting business, and it's you're doing some amazing things in this space, and you're one of the few people that I know or one of the only people that I know that working in this space, and it's no wonder that your business is going from strength to strength. Yeah, so you can find Adam at thinkfresh.net.au or adampenberthy.com, Penberthy. And thanks for watching KND TV. This is the Innovators series where we talk to innovators in the industry. You can find all the notes on knd.com.au and or subscribe on the iTunes store.
Innocent child, I'm feeling alarm and knows, and now she keeps me on my toes. Yes,